Everyone, it's Val, and welcome to this first video talking about SotA MiniMap by Tasha Upchurch. This is a mod that I searched out for myself about 3 weeks back, three or 4 weeks back, because I was getting constantly lost in Shroud of the Avatar, and as people know, I tend to get lost very easily, so this was pretty much a necessity for me. I understand why the developers of Shroud of the Avatar have chosen not to include a mini-map, other than maps that you can buy in-game and bring up on screen. But for people like me who get lost so freaking easily, it's pretty much a necessity. So I am very happy that Tasha has created this. And as it happens, after I did my first episode of Val's Gardening for Outlanders, Tasha happened to see that video and said, "Hey, would you like to do a video about SotA MiniMap?" And I said sure, because it is a mod that I believe in, I think is awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing it grow and expand. It is still, like Shroud of the Avatar, under development, so you have to bear that in mind. There are bugs, there will be changes, there will be enhancements. It is a work in progress. Right, so I did warn Tasha that if she wanted me to do a video about SotA MiniMap, I was going to give my honest opinion of it, and I do give things that are in development more slack than I would something that is considered a finished product, but I will tell you things about it that I like, things that I find frustrating, all so that you too can decide for yourself if this is something that you would like to check out. In order to get SotA MiniMap for yourself, you'll want to go to patreon.com/SotA MiniMap. Tasha Upchurch has a Patreon page here, and it's actually a necessary part of using the mod. You need to become a patron at least the $1 a month per level or higher. You can go higher if you choose, but you will need to have a Patreon login in order to register and use the mod. I will be doing a video in the near future showing how you do all the installation and registration, etc., but that is not part of the scope of this particular video, so we will leave it at that and just point you here. So now let's talk about the features of SotA MiniMap. Right, I'm just going to drag this a little more into the center of the screen so I have more room to play about. I'm going to start right here with the close button. I assume there's situations where you would want to close it. For me, I like to have it up, but hey, there it is. If you want it, click that, close the minimap. You can also click on the right-hand border here with your left mouse button and drag it while holding down the left mouse button to grow and shrink the minimap to the desired size. And you can left-click and drag on the upper bar to move it to the place that you would like it to be. We'll still move it up here right now. In fact, let's make it a little bigger. Because, hey, we would like to see the map nice and big. Okay, well, maybe not quite that big. There we go. So if we're lost, here we go. This is how we're going to find our way. But back to the features. This is the zoom button. You can click it to zoom at 2 different levels onto the map. Personally, I would like to see more zoom levels than just 2 because, well, I like to go in really close sometimes, and other times I'd like to go a little further, but it just so happens that the default ones, this one to me, it's nice for a quick overview, but it's not something I would use a lot. And this one is good, but I actually would like something kind of in between. I'd say if there was about, maybe 3 or 4 more zoom levels, that would be lovely. I can understand why you can't use the middle mouse button to scroll in and out, because that is captured by the Shroud of the avatar, and when I am scrolling it back and forth, you can see that the game itself is interpreting that as zoom in and out. So I can understand why that's not being used, but I would like to see this more finely granulated. This button here is for drawing your own maps of areas that are not yet mapped, or if for some reason you want to do your own map of the area anyway. What it does is it records as you run around. I'm not going to demonstrate that because it is currently being modified and improved, and it is not yet ready for me to show that, so I'm going to wait on that for the next video that I do on SotA MiniMap, because I will be doing more. I will be doing them to introduce new features and show what changes go on in the future. Right, so I want to show the NPCs section here, but to do that we probably should go someplace that actually has a bunch of NPCs. So you know what? I am going to resize. We're going to shrink it right down. We're going to put it over here. And let's go to Owl's Head. Now there are still a lot of maps that need to be put into the mini-map. But they are coming, and over time more and more will be added. In fact, version 0.4.0 is actually almost entirely more maps. Looking forward to that. Alright, so here we are in Kingsport. Let's, as you can see, the mini-map has changed to show the new area. And I don't know why I tried to double click on there to make that bigger, but there we go. So you can see it a little closer. I will say that this button here, which I've only started to use a little bit, you can turn this on so that when you go into an area without a map, the whole mini-map minimizes to just a little title bar. I haven't really used that too much myself, but that is available if you don't want to see the sort of blank screens or the blank mini-map that you get when you go into an area that does not yet have a map template. Whoops. Okay, well that resized it for me. I wasn't expecting it to do that. Will it do that again? Let's find out. Woot! Okay, so it does. Well, there you go. If you want it to resize to the default, I guess you can just toggle that. I don't know if it's supposed to do that, but hey, it's not a bug, it's a feature. Actually, I probably will use it like that. Okay, enough. Alright. I'm sure Tasha can comment on this video and say if that's an intended feature or not, but well, there you go. Alright, let's go into Kingsport here. Let's move this down here so we can... Now, I can't remember if Kingsport is one of the ones that has a map. We'll find out when we get inside. Alright, so here we are in Kingsport, and as you can see, we have a number of little things on the map indicating where NPCs are. Now, unfortunately, as soon as I hover over one of them, it's going to flip me out of the Shroud of the Avatar game. That is not something it used to do. This is a new thing. It's a new issue which I discovered when I was recording this. So it happens in borderless and bordered mode. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to increase the size of this so that you actually can see this. And because as soon as I hover over one of these NPCs to show you these features, it's going to do it. And this is unfortunate. I assure you it was not doing this in the previous versions. I need to report this issue to Tasha. So there we go. It's gone. There's the background. You can see the background on my page. Okay, so when you hover over a point on a map, you will actually see the name. In this case, well, actually, sorry, this is the task or job, the adventurer trainer, and you can click on them. And I have suggested that you be able to see the actual name as well, because sometimes I'm looking for Bob and sometimes I'm looking for an adventure trainer, and if Bob happens to be an adventurer trainer, that's great, but I may not know that, so Tasha has said she will consider doing that. Right, so you're probably wondering what these two buttons are. This is to upvote this NPC, and this is to downvote it. When you first create an NPC on the map, and we will find an NPC in the game to demonstrate that, But when you first create them, they are created with one vote. That means that we like this NPC, this is where they're supposed to be. Somebody else comes along, or you yourself come along and say, you know what? This NPC isn't here. I have no idea what this person was doing, and you can downvote it by putting an X on there. It's not actually deleted, but it does mean that you no longer see it on the map. And if somebody comes along and is an asshat and downvotes a bunch of things, then, well, that's all going to be recorded. Because, yes, this is all on the cloud. If I add an NPC somewhere, you are going to be able to see it in your SotA MiniMap. So that's pretty cool. That means that all the NPC locations are going to be basically crowdsourced, which I think is an awesome idea. A coming feature is that there will be markers. Tasha calls these markers. There will be ones that you own. If you own a vendor and you create a marker for that vendor, then you will own that marker and somebody can't come along and delete it on you. So you can add and update and completely control your own vendor marker. Right now, anything that's added in, if I added an NPC like I will in a moment to show you how it works, then that marker is considered unowned and is basically able to be upvoted and downvoted, etc. by anybody. So let's just close that. Let's shrink this back down. As you may have noticed, I accidentally hit the X button, which is downvote, to close the window for the NPC marker. I have made a suggestion to the effect that the X button should be replaced with a different symbol to indicate downvote, since X is traditionally used to close the window, which is why I hit it. Either that or a small pop-up box that when you hit the X says, "Hey, are you sure you want to downvote this NPC?" Because I didn't mean to do that, and I did. Oops. Actually, I guess I can show you the labels part here right now. I want to see all the labels. So you can see here, Alchemist, Crafting Merchant, Alchemist. So that actually is something I will probably leave on since I find it very useful. And as you can see, when it's on, the label is dark around it with the letter itself being light in color. You can also tell it you don't want to see any of the labels by going in there, or you can actually filter. And right now, am I typing in there? Yes, I am. Okay. Let's see. Let's just put down Alchemist. So you can see now only the Alchemists are showing on the map. And I think that's pretty cool. Now, let's just blank that out. I would like to be able to see that the cursor's in there. I don't know if it's just my eyeballs, if the font's too small, but it's really difficult for me to tell if if I'm actually in that edit box or not. But anyway, let's leave that on there. Now, you're probably wondering what this is. Well, this is for player vendors, and this will actually, if you click this on and then go to the NPC thing here, you'll see that it says vendor, and that will let you add your own vendors in there. That is a feature that is still coming. As I said, when you add your own vendor in there, you will be able to control it. But for now, when that is not on and you go in here, you won't see vendor in this list. All right, so let's shrink this down. Something a little more manageable. And actually, this gives me an opportunity to tell you about another feature which I have to use a lot, because as somebody who streams, it seems that this oops, I just dragged it off the screen. Sorry about that. It is right there. It'll be off screen for the moment because there's something I have to do in order to get it to show up. And there we go. I have to double click several times on the minimap, and I haven't determined if there's an ideal location for it or if it's pretty much anywhere, in order to get it to come back on top, because in order for you to see it when you're playing the game, it obviously has to be on top of the game window. Now, I have a suspicion it might be OBS Studio that's causing this problem, but if you, like me, have it forget that it's supposed to be on top, what I have to do is I have to drag it off screen onto another monitor, and I have to double click it a number of times with the left mouse button and then drag it back on to make it show up. So that's what you do if it happens to you. And this was actually, this being able to click on it to wake it up is something that Tasha added because of the issue that I've been having. But yeah, just figured I'd mention that to you, so in case it happened to you too. Okay, so you're the town crier. Excellent. You don't seem to be on the map, so you're perfect for our demonstration purposes. So his name is Willem Gates, and he's the Kingsport town crier. Now, as soon as I click over here, this is going to flip out of the screen again. Yep, there it goes. Whoops. Okay, no, don't do that. Let's just, as cute as that cat is, let's just do this so that you see as little of my desktop as possible. Right, so you click the plus up here, and you put in the name, and this would be Willem Gates, and not the blacksmith, but the town crier, and we want to submit that. So now you can see you hover over it and it says town crier, and we can click on it, and we could also downvote it, but I'm not. I guess we could do that. We could demonstrate that as well, but I don't want to do it with this one because this guy we actually want to keep. Alright, so let's use my newly discovered trick for resizing. Let's put it over here, and let's go back to the game. And do my double click thing. There we go. Bring it up. Alright, so now if you, in your SotA MiniMap, came onto this location, you would see the town crier that I just added. That's pretty cool. Alright, so let's go across here, and I'm going to create a bogus... Oops. Little bit of in-game lag there. Okay, so we have Harry. Now, Harry exists. You know, he's a valid NPC, but, you know, we probably don't really need to know about Harry. Let's go ahead and add Harry here. I'm going to make this big because we just know as soon as I go to click the button there, it's going to flip out. There we go. Okay, so we have Harry here. Harry the bum. And he doesn't have a job. I don't know what job he has, so I'm going to say he's an other NPC. And I'm going to submit that. So you can see now it's showed up on the map, other NPC. So I can do it, or you can come along here and say, you know, why is Harry on here? Harry's not used for any quests. He doesn't have a job. Nobody cares about Harry. Or maybe Harry doesn't live here anymore. Maybe Harry has been moved over here. So you can just say, no. No, take Harry away. And Harry's gone. Alright, well that is SotA MiniMap. The one thing that I can't really show you is it also now supports multi-level dungeon maps as of 0.3.0.0, and an example of that is the Ruins of Ravensmoor, which obviously is located in Ravensmoor in South Hidden Vale, and you can check that out for yourself. I haven't actually been to that ruin, so I have no idea if I would survive there, but perhaps in a future update video I will actually go there and check it out. As a final note, I wanted to say that the issues I was having when I was showing the mini-map, where I kept getting flipped out of the SotA screen, is not something everybody is experiencing. I have reported it to Tasha. She is looking into it, and in fact I showed her doing it in stream the other day, and hopefully she will be able to replicate it and fix the problem, but I just wanted to reiterate, not everybody is having this issue. In fact, I may be the only person having this particular issue at this point, so please bear that in mind when you consider checking out the SotA MiniMap mod. I hope you enjoyed this overview of how, let's get a little light on the subject, of how the SotA MiniMap works and why I am using it, and will continue to use it. And I urge you to use it too, so you don't get lost, because getting lost sucks. So you all take care, and I hope to see you in the stream sometime. See you later. Bye.